Mate, including the champion, I'm the most dangerous man in the division. I make people hate fighting. I take the love out of it for them.
Imagine stepping into a ring, the crowd roaring around you, the lights glaring down, and the only thing standing between you and the victory is an absolutely vicious opponent. Every fight is an all-out war against the best of the best the world of MMA has to offer. This is the world Robert Whitaker steps into every time he fights. For the past 8 years, Whitaker was fighting through a murder row of a division. Souza, Romero, Brunson, Cannonier, Vittori, and Adesanya. How does one survive, let alone thrive in such a stacked division? Well, let's take a look. Before we dive in, you can help us out a lot. If you find this video entertaining and valuable, do us a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're a small channel still trying to reach that 1,000 subscriber mark, and your sub would mean a lot to us. Now let's get on with it. Early days. Born on December 20th, 1999 in Sydney, Australia, Robert John Whitaker has risen through the ranks to become one of the most respected fighters in the UFC. Known for his resilience, determination, down-to-earth attitude, and technical prowess, Whitaker has carved out a name for himself in one of the most dangerous divisions in the UFC. Whitaker's journey to the top wasn't a straight path, let's say that. Born to an Australian mother and a Maori father, he grew up in a household that valued strength and resilience. His father, Jack, introduced him to the world of martial arts, enrolling him in a Goju Ryu karate school at just 7 years old. This early exposure to martial arts laid the foundation for Whitaker's future career and the way he fights. He learned discipline, respect, and the importance of hard work, values that would later become the cornerstones of his fighting style. In 2009, at the age of 18, Whitaker made his professional MMA debut. He was young, eager, and ready to prove himself. He fought in various promotions across Australia and Asia, honing his skills and gaining valuable experience. His hard work paid off when he was one of the 8 Aussies that were invited to the first series of The Ultimate Fighter, The Smashes, in 2012. The show was based on pitting 8 Aussies versus 8 fighters from the UK to see which nation would come out on top. And boy oh boy, did Whitaker make a statement. Not only was he down to earth, motivated, and more mature than his teammates, he had the skills to back up the way he carried himself. Bobby would win the welterweight bracket by KOing Luke Newman and Xavier Lucas and winning over Brad Scott in the finals, earning a contract with the UFC. This was a turning point in Whitaker's career, catapulting him onto the global stage. But would he be able to compete in the big leagues? UFC career. After a few losses in the welterweight division, Whitaker made the decision to move up a weight class. This move was like a rebirth for him. He found success in the middleweight division, winning fights against formidable opponents and steadily climbing his ranks. His technical skills, combined with his tenacity and resilience, made him a force to be reckoned with. His journey to the top wasn't easy, but it was marked by impressive victories. He defeated Clint Hester and Uriah Hall, each win more impressive than his last. His knockout victory over Derek Brunson in 2016 was a clear statement to the rest of the division. Robert Whitaker was here to stay. Before facing Yoel Romero, Robert Whitaker had to go through another formidable opponent, Ronaldo Jacare Souza. At the time of their fight, Souza was considered one of the most dangerous fighters in the division, having lost only to Romero in the previous 5 years. Their fight took place at UFC on Fox 24 in April of 2017. Souza, a highly decorated Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner, was expected to take the fight to the ground and submit Whitaker. However, Whitaker had other plans. From the onset, Whitaker showcased his striking prowess, keeping the fight standing and landing clean, powerful shots. The second round, Whitaker landed a clean right hand that dropped Souza. He followed it up with a barrage of strikes, forcing the referee to step in and stop the fight. This victory was a significant turning point in Whitaker's career. Not only did he defeat a top contender in the division, but he also did so in a dominant fashion. This fight solidified Whitaker's position as a serious title contender and set the stage for his upcoming battles with Yoel Romero. Wars against Romero. The first encounter with Yoel Romero, a man known as the Soldier of God, a silver medalist in freestyle wrestling at the 2000 Olympics, a fighter who had only been defeated once in his UFC career, and above all, an athletic freak, was a test unlike any other for Robert Whitaker. This was a fight at UFC 213, in a battle that would determine the interim middleweight champion. From the very start, the fight was a brutal affair. Romero, known for his explosive power and wrestling prowess, came out strong, landing a heavy oblique kick that injured Whitaker's left knee. But Whitaker, ever the warrior, refused refused to back down. Despite the injury, he continued to press the action, relying on his striking skills to keep Romero at bay. As the fight progressed, Whitaker started to find his rhythm. He began to land clean, powerful shots, marking up Romero's face and slowing down the Cuban's attacks. By the third round, Whitaker was in control, his striking proving to be too much for Romero. After 5 grueling rounds, Whitaker was declared the winner by unanimous decision, earning him the interim middleweight title and marking him as one of the top fighters in the division. The battle with Romero wasn't over yet.
And definitely challenging. I think the fans enjoyed that fight because they could literally see how hard that fight was. And I'm happy to put on another hard fight.
They met again at UFC 225 for a rematch that was even more intense than their first fight. This time, Whitaker had more than just Romero's strength and wrestling skills to contend with. He also had a broken hand from the first round. Romero came out strong, hoping to make up for his previous loss. He handed heavy hits that put Whitaker on the defensive, but Whitaker didn't back down. He fought back, matching Romero's strikes with his own. The fight was so evenly matched that it ended up in a split decision, but in the end, it was Whitaker who was declared the winner, once again demonstrating his strength and determination as a champion. As it always has been, the king of the hill is the one everyone else is aiming for, and in the crosshairs of a rising star named Israel Adesanya was our very own Robert Whitaker. Losing the belt in comeback. Adesanya, a legendary kickboxer turned mixed martial artist, was making waves in the UFC. He had a striking style that was as beautiful as it was deadly, and he had defended every opponent the UFC had put in front of him. His sights were set on the middleweight title and the man holding it, Robert Whitaker. Their first clash took place at UFC 243. Adesanya, with his striking prowess and undefeated record, was a formidable challenge. Whitaker, the reigning middleweight champion, was ready for an all-out war, but Adesanya was too evasive. Unfortunately for Bobby, Adesanya caught him with a left hook in the middle of the second round and took his belt away. This loss was a setback, but Whitaker is no stranger to adversity. He bounced back with a vengeance, securing 3 consecutive victories against Till, Cannonier, and Gastelum, and showing the world that he was far from done. In their rematch, Whitaker would adopt a different game plan, one that was based on takedowns and grappling. Despite showing significant improvements from their first encounter, he was unable to secure the win. What does the future hold? Bobby is prepping to step into the octagon once again at UFC 290, this time against Dricus, still knocks du Plessis. Du Plessis is likely eager to make his mark against the former champion. Du Plessis may find he's bitten off more than he can chew. He's not just facing any fighter, he's facing the Reaper. So what do you think? Will Whitaker ever reclaim the middleweight title? It's hard to say. The division is stacked with incredible talent, and the road to the championship is a grueling one. But if there's one thing we've learned from watching Whitaker's career, it's that he's not going to back down from a challenge. He's still young, a mere 32 years old, in a sport where most champions are crowned at 34. Even if he never wears the belt again, Whitaker's impact on the middleweight division is undeniable. He's left an indelible mark on the sport, and his fights against the likes of Romero and Adesanya will go down in history as some of the most thrilling battles the octagon has ever seen.
Yeah, I got 'em rocking with me. I bet on me and my team. ISO is what I'm repping.